How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Ghosthack feedback live stream. We are back. You guys asked for it. You wanted it, and here it is. Is it possible to watch this stream back later? Yes, it is. We will be leaving this up on the Ghosthack YouTube channel. And if you like the video right now, then you'll be able to get to it easier later. So that's my advice. Just go ahead and like the video now. That makes it very easy on everyone here, actually. But we are doing another feedback live stream today, and oh boy, do I have a lot of emails. We sent out an email saying that we were going to do this live stream, and I have 786 replies already. This was just a couple of days ago we did this. Yeah, two days before. You guys are crazy. You guys crazy like this stuff. Yeah, SoundCloud and YouTube links. That's what's up. SoundCloud and YouTube. Is my voice coming through? Yes, it is. Let me know if everything is Gucci in chat. How many songs do you think I get through? I don't know. I'm gonna try to get through as many as I can. I gotta keep it going quickly. I know I can't get through 786, but I have a lot of pages here, and I just want to keep scrolling. So I think I'll just go ahead and get right into the first one, which I have open right now. I just took the first one up top. I'll probably take 3 of these per page, because if I go all the way to the last page, you can see there's 16 pages. So if I do 3 per page, then that's like 50. And if I get done with all that 50, you know what I'm saying? Then I can go through new ones and stuff like that. But I'm just going to go ahead and open up this guy right here who sent 2 links. Don't do that. But one is a Dropbox and one is a SoundCloud. I'm not going to do the Dropbox links, but I am going to do the SoundCloud links. If you want to know how to submit, then you can look at the pinned comment that's in the chat right now, and there's information on that. I'll probably get to the most recent ones towards the end of the stream. I kind of want to get through the ones that we emailed that sent in their tracks pre this stream, before this, that we're kind of prepared for this. I want to get through some of them first. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it. What kind of music can you send? Send any music. Any genre of music, all music. If you have an audio file that you want me to critique, then send away. And it looks like we're all good here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. It would be feedback@ghosthack.de. And there's plenty more to the track. This is like a 7-minute track. I can't get through all of this, but this is really good. Like I really enjoy this. Psychedelic trance isn't a genre that I listen to all of the time, but from what I've heard of it, this seems like a really quality track. It's like you did a good job of having like there's good mixing as far as the rhythm goes. It's really steady. It's really nice. You did a good job of filling out those empty spaces with psychedelic effects. That's something I hear a lot in psychedelic trance when I listen to it, kind of from an outsider's perspective, as someone who doesn't make it all the time. It's there's a lot of room in it. A lot of it seems to be a lot of empty space that not everyone takes full advantage of, but I think you did a really good job of in this track, just taking full advantage of the empty space. It's well mixed. It seems like it's well mastered. There really isn't too much to say about this. I am going to test loudness real quick by a song that I know is of good loudness. I just need to test this real quick. I just need to know that it's decent as far as loudness. Okay, that would be that loud. Okay, yeah, that's a good loudness. I'm down with that loudness. I just need to get a reference point there. Sorry about that. But man, good stuff here. There's really not much I can say about this. It's awesome. So, good work. I'm not gonna get into something that I don't think I have feedback for. I'm just gonna go ahead and move on because that was good stuff. Let's see. Oh, I started at the wrong end. I'm gonna work my way back, or maybe that's not a good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna work my way back. That would be a good one. I'm on 16 right now. Does this even work? Because it didn't send as a hyperlink. But it should work. Yeah, there we go. All right, D's is Tommy B, what's up? As long as it's a SoundCloud or YouTube link, it's all good. And as long as it's your track, obviously. This is interesting. Everything sounds pretty good here. There's not too much I can say as far as mixing goes and as far as loudness goes. It seems like it's generally well mixed. The loudness is pretty all right. Like, I think the one thing that I feel is that it's a lot of the same thing. And I know with techno, it is a common theme. Techno tends to be it tends to sort of repeat the same riffs, the same loops over and over. That's the style. I understand that, but there's something that in a 3.5 minute track, it seems like there should be some kind of switch up or change up. Like there should be something to kind of keep me interested, because by the time it goes down to here, it's like I like this little breakdown area. It's placed very nice, just right in the middle of the track. It works very well, but I want it to go into something just a little bit different. I want a little bit of spice in this next bit. But it's pretty much the same thing as it was before, you know, in this part. You know, there isn't really too much difference. That's probably my biggest critique with this one. It's just something to make it a little more interesting, a little less boring. But overall, like, as far as the individual elements, there's not too much I can get that's nitpicky. Just, you know, make some change-ups, keep it interesting. That's my advice. So, awesome. There we go. Thank you very much. And now, yeah, we're on. Let's see, 17. Oh boy, tracks are really coming in. They're really coming in fast. So I'm gonna go 16 down here. Let's see. I'll do this one. Todd West. It's from my library, about 7 pieces covering rock and electro. Okay, so a lot of stuff. Let's see, is there not a track here? This is just, there isn't a track. That's just a whole. That's a whole channel. I need a track. Let's take this one. Let's see. Well, this seems different. That was interesting. That's definitely kind of a track that I've never heard before. It is Latin and it's got a Latin vibe, but you got like the anime sort of vocals in there. I guess my biggest question is genre. Like, you know, what sort of genre is it meant to? Is it meant to reflect? It's not something I heard before, but other than that, it's like generally mixing as the style goes, the mixing was all right from what I heard. The loudness is fine. Things are well placed in the stereo field as well, is what I'm hearing. It works out pretty well. One thing I think someone was noticing in the chat as well, there isn't really much contrast between sections. Like there was a little bit of a change up at the end there, but most of it doesn't really seem to follow any particular song structure or pattern. There's no part where anything slows down. It's pretty much just all the way, just 100% for 3 minutes. And even if 100% isn't super big, like this track isn't a super big track, at least compared to some of the tracks that I've listened to on these live streams, it is kind of refreshing to have just a little bit of a change up, maybe something like a breakdown where things just get a little bit slower, maybe the drums get taken away, you know, you just kind of break it down a little quieter, and then it goes back into another hook. You know, you could do stuff like that to kind of lay out the track a little better, but that's really just in track structure. And for this genre, you know, maybe this is exactly the structure you need, or was going for. Maybe my opinion is just because I don't listen to this kind of music, which could be a fairly fair critique on my part. It could be that I just don't know the music very well, but other than that, it's mainly just structure that I'm thinking of, and that's been the critique I have for like the last 3, is just structure and change ups and making things interesting. I haven't got any bad mixes yet. I haven't got anything where I'm like, oh, that's a questionable decision. You know what I'm saying? Overall, they're not bad so far. So that's what's up. Cool. Interesting stuff. Definitely interesting stuff. So let's take this guy, Michael Sawyer. Let's see, what is this? What kind of link is this? SoundCloud. Yeah. Love Transmission. Here we go. Electronic chill. Great headphones. They're good stuff. It's a little bit quiet. This is actually a really cool track. I haven't listened to much of this music. It kind of going back to it's got a couple of weird genres in here so far, but I really do like it. I feel like I know exactly what you were going for with this sort of track, and I really feel like it was well done as far as the sound effects are doing a really good job of filling out the space and sweeping around like all the vibe matches itself. It all fits together very well. It has like an old, almost retro vibe, but makes you uncomfortable. I don't know. It kind of relaxes me. I like those. I like those sort of glitchy, sort of radio static, but still atmospheric. Like it's not too harsh and digital. It is still smooth. I think some of the sound effects in here get a little bit strong and a little bit loud. They kind of overpower the rest of the track that has like chords and stuff like that. There isn't. There's some parts in there that I think could be, like melodically, could be highlighted a little more instead of just the sound effects. But and like my first impression is that it could be a little bit louder. It's a very quiet track, but then again, this is chill out. This is electronic chill. This isn't necessarily something that is supposed to be super heavy. So that's my main critique. Is there's some times when the sound effects just get a little too big and out there, and I don't really know what I'm listening to. Someone said if it's even in a key, and it is in a key. It's just sometimes those melodic elements get a little drowned out. So maybe pull back just a tad on the sound effects in some spaces. Someone said the snare was too loud. I mean, it could be. You could turn the snare down a bit, I guess. I don't think it would make too much difference, though, at least not to me. But yeah, everybody's got their opinion on that. But overall, this is a cool track. I'm a fan of this style. Some good sound effects in here. It flows very well. He did a good job of making it flow. So excellent work here. All right. Let's see, which one am I on? It doesn't. Okay, that's the one that I'm on. So let me go to this one. Working my way back. Not that one. This one, SoundCloud. Bobby Bars. This is hip hop and rap. We'll probably get some dubstep and some heavier styles in here eventually, but this is just any style that anyone wants to send. Let's see, an audio file. Let's see. Yeah, if you send YouTube links and SoundCloud links, those are going to be the best links that we're going to open up. I already like this sample.
Look, I gotta keep moving, there's no time to look back. I used to ride around with that 40 on my lap, rapping circles round these rappers. I'm on my victory lap. I don't knock the hustle, I'm building up my muscle. They all up on my balls, let me see if you can juggle. There's a lot of barks, so I'm handing out muzzles. They wanna bring the trouble, I'm focused on the peace. Be careful, they might jack it, better go and get a fleece. Cause my flow too cold, they don't wanna walk this road. I felt a lot of pain, I hope it's not in vain. I've been walking through the jungle, now I finally got a mane. I'm a lion at the heart, I had a rough start. I don't want your sympathy, just recognize my art. I'm the only light beaming as I navigate the dark. Some days I wanna quit, but I know I'm gonna make it. God put me in the spot, cause he knew I could take it. I got my walls up, but she thinks she might break it. You don't have to like me, but you can't deny the greatness. They say time is money, I need payment for my patience. Bars. It's a marathon, so you know I can't quit. Nipsey said it best, let his soul rest. Trying to bring the change while I'm standing in the flesh. I've been through the worst, but I still bring the best. I give them my best, cause I know how it feels.
Alright, I'm just gonna stop right there. Like, this is a good track. This is a solid track. I actually really like this. The beat is well made in the background. The drums are well mixed. The sample is awesome. I love the sampling. I think that's great work here. Like, it has a really good vibe. I really enjoy it. It seems like it's well structured. The lyrics writing seems pretty cool. It's a good flow. I guess the one critique that I would have if I were listening to this on like Spotify or something like this, the one critique that I have is really just probably the quality of the vocal recording. Not even the quality of your voice, if this is you that's on it.
Now muzzles, they don't wanna walk this road.
It's just like the vocal recording itself. It sounds like it's done with a cheap mic. That's the only thing. And like, maybe it was, and I'm not hating on that. Like, not everyone can afford a big fancy mic and a vocal isolator and all the stuff to get exactly like the perfect, crispy, clean vocal track. I understand that that's not an option for everyone, but that's pretty much the only thing, is all that I'm saying. I'm just like, if there's anything that I would think up, it would be that. I would like some kind of hook, and maybe there is a hook in here.
You know I can't quit or rest. Trying to bring the change while I'm standing in the flesh. I've been through the worst, but I still bring the best. I give them my best, cause I know how it feels. It's dark, some days I'm full of muzzles. They want it's hard for me to smile since perfect. I'm out, make limit. It was I need to motivate until it's time for me to go. It's a marathon to bring the change while I'm still was smoking on the roof, thinking how the sky's the limit.
But yeah, it's just a pretty quality track. I'm a fan. Good work, Bobby Bars on this one. Excellent work. Keep that up. Keep going strong. So awesome. Let me scroll up here, and I can get to Adam Stern. festival bass. This would be interesting.
Whoa.
I play tracks from SoundCloud and YouTube.
I try to be everything that I can, but sometimes I come out as being nothing. I try to be everything that I can, but sometimes I come out as being nothing. I pray to God that He make me a better man. Maybe one day I'ma stand for something. I'm thanking God that He made you part of the plan. I guess I ain't go through all that hell for nothing. I'm always fucking up and wrecking shit. It seems like I perfected it. I offer you my love, I hope you take it like some medicine. Tell me ain't nobody better than me. I think that there's better than me. Hope you see the better in me. Always in the better in me.
I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. This is really cool. I'm actually a big fan of this. This is really interesting. It's like a weird, it's festival bass. It's like a weird future bass style that's like only future bass in this part. It's like trappy in the first bit, a little bit like hybrid trappy. It's cool. I really enjoy it. I think so. My biggest critique, which is what some people were saying in the chat, is it doesn't seem like there's quite enough impact to me. Like I almost want a little bit of heavier drums, especially in the first part. It doesn't really sound like the drop is as defined as it could be, you know, like it would need like a little more build up, a little more pause for the drop, and then the drop just hits a little heavier is what I'm wanting to feel. Like it's all good, but there's like that little snappy 808 snare for the snare, and I almost want something a little bigger, something maybe just a little clappy or something with a little more impact, a little more room to make it sound big, you know, especially if this is like a festival track, you know what I'm saying? Just something to make it sound a little bigger so it has more of an impact, and also would make it a little more epic. I love how you use the vocals. Obviously those aren't yours, that's Juice WRLD, and frankly every time I've ever heard anyone throw Juice WRLD's vocals on a track, it's made the track better. So I can't really hit you on doing that. It sounds awesome, but I do feel the kicks, but not as much as I could. You know what I'm saying? Not as much as I should, in my opinion. I really want it to punch a little bit harder, especially because there's basses in the background. And when you have those kicks and snares really hitting hard and heavy, it'll make all the basses and other sounds that much more aggressive as well. And so that's probably my main critique, but this track is structured very well. I love the use of the vocals over all the other stuff. Even in the drop, you have the whoa vocals in the background. And there was good change up with the future bass in the second drop. It was pretty cool. So yeah, just stronger drums, a little more impact in the drop. That's my biggest critique. So yeah, cool stuff here. Cool stuff. I really like it. Excellent work. Excellent. And I can switch to a new page. Let's take Let's take this one. Nada Music. League of Legends. Okay. I don't prefer to do remixes. I'd rather somebody send an original rather than a remix. But I mean, the last one's kind of a remix too. There isn't a rule against it as of yet.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you play for reaching greatness, relentless you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fight is near. It's deep in their buzz, all right into smoke when the fire is Legends never die.
Yeah. So far, well, it's interesting. I think there's not really that much happening here. I think a lot of it seems very dry. It seems very upfront. It doesn't seem very flavorful right now. The piano is clipping. At least it sounds like it is. Maybe turned up the overdrive on it, which I would probably not do. Doesn't sound like a great decision. And some of the vowels and the vocals do sound like they're a little bit off in the intro.
Legends never die.
Like, what was that? Like, die. It didn't really go down to the right note, did it?
Legends never die.
It doesn't really sound like it's on pitch. I don't know. But that was one of the first things I noticed. But other than that, it just seems like it's a little dry. Like the chords are a little dry. They're not really big and wide. Like there doesn't really seem to be enough unison in them. I expect that what you're going for is more of a chiptune, like almost a chiptune drum and bass thing, which in that case this works because it's meant to be a little more 8-bit and it's not meant to be super big. It's meant to be a little more dry, but if that's what you're going for, then it kind of worked. But even then, for a chiptune track, I feel like it should be a little bigger. It doesn't really seem like it would be structured like a chiptune track. So that's my biggest concern, is that I'd want things to be layered a little better, a little more spread out, a little less just right up front and right in the middle, and more energy, more color, things like reverb, delay, chorus, more unison on the chords, stuff like that. And just a little more elements in general. Like there doesn't seem like there's very many elements in this track. And the bass is a little bit loud, but I'm just kind of going through each thing.
Legends never die when the world is calling you part of it. When everything's cold and the fight is alright into hope.
Yeah, this has to be, you have to be going for a chiptune thing here.
Legends never die.
Yeah, I'm going to I definitely think it was chiptune, but I still sort of stand by what I said by adding layers, a little bit more unison. If you're gonna do things sort of like dry in this chiptune way, you should also have things kind of panning around. You should have some things in stereo just to kind of fill out that area a little bit more and make the track overall sound more full and rich and thick, and it'll be a lot more, it'll be a lot easier to listen to. It won't be kind of as harsh and digital as this one is. But hey, you got the idea down. At least you have structure here, and it's not just a jumble of random sounds. Like you have a solid idea here. It's just in the execution. So yeah, cool. Let me scroll up a little bit. I'll take right at the top. Wayne Scott, Synthwave. This is really good. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there about halfway. This is a really nice track. I actually really enjoy it. I guess my first critique is it's very compressed. I want to hear a little bit more dynamics. It seems like it's very compressed and pushed very hard for the style that it is. I wanna maybe pull back a little bit on that. That would be pretty good, because especially during the fills, a lot of the effects get pushed up a lot, and it's just a lot in your face. It can be a little bit hard to understand what the vocals are saying, because I think it's just sort of crushed too much down. I think most of the problems I hear in this track are just due to that. But as far as the track itself, it's like it's a really good one. It's like the vocals fit with the track very nicely. It seems to work out very well. It's well produced as far as the elements that are actually in it. It seems like a solid synthwave track.
Give all that we can, baby, we'll give until there's nothing left. You and I will dance all night by your side, by your side.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep it going. And make it a little faster as far as these critiques go. But that's pretty much the main critique I have for this. Is just how crushed down it is. As far as the song itself, it sounds pretty good to me. So I'm about this. I like this a lot, and it seems like it's well structured. It's well written. So good work for me. Let's see. I'll take this one, Joseph Young. Let's see, SoundCloud. Ambient. Yeah, I guess as far as ambient goes, it's, you know, it's where it's at. It seems like a decent ambient track to me. It's one of those things where there isn't a lot of substance here. You know what I'm saying? There isn't a lot to judge musically. It's a lot of atmospheres and soundscapes and things like that. It's not so much musical as in like theory I could go into, but it sounds like there's some samples in here that are pretty interesting. There's some cool vibes and sound effects that sound pretty cool, and it's not pushed very loud. But then again, with ambient music, I don't think it necessarily needs to be. It's just really working with those soundscapes. Some of the frequencies up in the high end are a little piercing, like maybe you could pull a little bit on that and maybe either EQ those out or just lower whatever's making that sound. But you did a good job varying sounds and stitching them together. Again, it's not as musically structured as some other things, so it's a little bit hard to give feedback on this kind of music because like you wouldn't hear this on a radio. This is really just sort of background stuff, but it is ambient. I'll give it that. So if that's the quota, if that's what I'm judging based off of, then it seems like you did a pretty good job with it. So cool, that's interesting. And I'll scroll up. I'll take one near the top. Let's try this one. Let's see. Is this one track? Yeah. R&B soul.
And so into this little tortured mind came the idea that that gun had been produced for
Got
him.
me to get to Barbara.
I'm actually a fan of this. I like this a lot. At first I was kind of thrown off because there was a point in here where the drums didn't really, like, they kind of went off beat. But then I realized everything was sort of falling and glitching out right before it went into a bigger part. So that was well done. I really like the vibes that are in this track. It almost has a sampled vibe, but then again, it's not. I don't even think it's necessarily a sample. Like I think these are the actual instruments.
Idea that that gun had been produced for him.
I like the vocal in it. The vocal sounds awesome. The low end is definitely kicking, but a little weird with the waka waka in the background. I'm assuming you mean the like the disc scratching sound effects, or where it sounds like the pitch is kind of going back and down, like up, back and down, is like going back and forth or up and down. I like that actually. I think it adds a cool retro vibe to the track. I'm about it. I can hear some cool vocals over these. I do like this track a lot actually. I think some of the elements could be a little bit loud, like that hi-hat, that open hi-hat. The hi-hat is a little bit much. Maybe you could ease back on that. The lead is also a little bit strong. If you were to add vocals on top of this, then I think that would clash a little bit. Basically, if you were to add vocals, like if you were planning to add vocals to a track like that, I kind of ease back on some of the more upfront sounds to leave room for stuff like that. But seeing as there isn't vocals, I really don't think I'm going to drill you too hard on that. Just for what it is, it's pretty cool. You don't have SoundCloud. Yeah, you can send YouTube too. I'll take YouTube and SoundCloud links. Just all the links so far have been SoundCloud. But this is cool. R&B, soul, trap stuff. That's interesting. I like it a lot. Excellent, excellent. Let's take this one right in the middle. I'm not sure why some of these aren't generating links, but they seem to be working. So we got some house music. So far, just like 2 minutes into it, I think it's pretty cool. I'm down with that. I think it's pretty well made. The vocals are Ghosthack vocals. I really like the use of the vocals here. I think the progression of the track follows the vocal line very well. I like the instruments that you added in there. It is a little it is a little too compressed. Someone was saying that in the chat. It's pushed a little far, and that means that the vocals get a little drowned out by some of the other instruments. But as far as the actual sounds that you have in there, I think it's well put together. It's well structured. Yeah, Ultimate Vocal Library 3. It works out pretty well. So overall, I'd say so far, pretty good job in this. It's just a little bit crushed and a little bit squished. I'd like to hear a little more dynamics out of it, especially for house music. Also, the background vocals. That because there's two layers to these vocals. There's the main vocal and then the background vocal. The background vocal is a little bit loud, I think. Maybe you could add more reverb to the background vocal and kind of bring it down a little bit more, so it's just a little more in the background, just supporting instead of right up there up front with the main vocal. That's my one other suggestion. I also really like adding choruses, like a chorus or a unison plugin on background vocals, because it tends to mix together really well with the main vocal that way. But that's just what I'm hearing in this track in particular. Overall, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to some heavy music at some point. Like I like heavy music a lot. I'm sure that'll happen here and there. Let's take George here. Well, maybe not this time. I do like it though. There we go. This is awesome. I legitimately really like I would listen to this track like not just because someone sent it to me. Like I would actually, yeah, it has gotten some attention. So I don't really think they need my criticism for this track. So not going to go too in depth because there isn't too much I need to say. It's like this is just really well written. It's some cool sound design, really good melodic content, really cool structure. I really enjoy it. The one thing that I think that I would say is that when the chords come in, it's a little bit harsh. You can check the pinned comment in chat, and it'll give you an email where you can send your track. It'll give you instructions there. But yeah, the one thing is just the chord. It seems a little high and mid heavy, like it doesn't have a lot of low end, but it seems just a little harsh and a little piercing. It was a little it sort of hit out of nowhere. It was a little bit jarring almost when that hit, but that's like the only thing. And probably not everyone would necessarily agree with me as far as that goes either. That was just my first impression of that one moment that hit. But other than that, it's like this is a really cool track. It's unique, it's fun, it's jazzy, it's groovy. I like it. Awesome stuff, and I did indeed. So here we go. Here's another one. Olivier, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah, one track. Okay. This is cool. I actually really like this. I don't know exactly what style it's going for. Like there aren't any tags of genre or anything like that. It's just like a weird electro, almost cyberpunk vibe, but like with vocals in the background and like less bass oriented. That's it's interesting. I do enjoy it. I would say I want some sub bass. Like, is there a sub? If there is a sub, I don't think it's loud enough. Like I'm getting bass when the kick comes in, but there isn't a sub bass. Like I want some sub happening in the background, and that's really the main thing that I'm missing, I'd say, in this track. It has some vocals and sort of brass sounds leading it through the track, which is cool, but there's no bass. Especially because I hear a bass in the background going. I want it to come in with like a pluck bass, even in this part, to go with like a sub down in the low end. That's what I'm missing, but that's the main thing that I'm mixing. It could be mixed a little better. Maybe with some things being a little more upfront, such as the vocal, but not much. Like overall, it's not that bad at all. I do enjoy this track. I think it's pretty cool. It's got a cool tone. It's got a cool vibe. Good work choosing the samples and the vocal and stuff like that. So other than sub and just mixing a little cleaner, this is a really cool track. I vibe with it. I vibe with it hard. Let's see, where are we at? Yeah, we're down here, so I can go up here, and I'll take this person. Did not include their track. No track there. Let's go one up. Here we go. Diffuser Public. Hip hop and rap. Sounds real chill. Well, I'd say it needs a sub because of it being a heavier bass style. You know, that's I would recommend sub, not for all genres, but for that one probably. This is interesting. I actually like this. This is a very simple beat. It's nothing super impressive, but I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, the snare is amazing. I really like using drum sounds that aren't just the normal sounds that everyone uses over and over, especially in hip hop and trap beats. It gets very, very repetitive. I think this track does a really good job of doing something different, especially with the drums. There's like percussions in there, and there's Foley instead of just the normal 808 drums and normal hi-hats, normal chop snares, things like that. This one is very cool and mixes sort of cool lo-fi elements. Yeah, it's sort of like lo-fi drums, lo-fi elements with the hip hop, good piano in the background, whether it's sampled or you played it in the project. I actually enjoy this a lot. There's not too much bad I can say about this. Maybe some of the percussions and the little clicks and pops of the drums and things could be a little more stereo. That could be interesting if there were percussion loops or other sounds that were more stereo. That would make it more interesting to listen to in the stereo field. It would also help if vocals were added to this track, because then things would be like in the stereo field while the vocal is more in mono, and it would spread out a little better. I'm gonna get to the more recent submissions once I get towards the more recent emails. I just want to make sure I get through some of the people that had submitted prior to this, kind of through the emails. I'll see some of the more recent ones towards the end, but I want to get through some of these. This is a cool track. I like it. I like it a lot. Excellent work. And let me go back a page, and I'll take this one. Tribute. What is this? Tribute to house music. Okay. See, I think this could be a solid track, but it is crushed very loud. It is really loud, but yeah, I think this is out of tune. I think the keys are not in tune with the bass line. Yeah, that's definitely a different tune. I don't think that's in tune, and that it can kill the vibe. It can take a track that could be pretty good, like this track could be a pretty interesting track. It seems like it's crushed very loud, but it's just not in tune, and that kind of kills it for me. I think the piano itself is also a little muddy in the mid and low frequencies. It doesn't seem like the best loop or sound to use right there, but yeah, it's just not really in tune, and it's hard to vibe to when it's not in tune. That's pretty much all I can say about this. It could be pretty cool. It just needs to be fixed. But nice. Yeah, I'll go back another page. Let's see. I'll take a person at the bottom. Let's see. Progressive house. It sounds like it's gonna be good.
I've been trying to find a way to get out from this town, but no one seems to understand. No one seems to hear me out. I hear these voices in my head. They're telling me I don't understand. A Polaroid just tells me that I need you to be where I am. But things can change and now it's no more the same. I know you've gone away. No, I hope the best for you anyways, and that someone fills that empty space. Someone fills that empty space. Someone fills that empty space.
There it is. That's awesome. I really like this track. You did a really good job with this track. This is a very excellent work here. There's only one thing that stood out to me, and I think the one thing that stood out is that the effects, like the sound effects, especially like the white noise, like down sweeps and things like that, they were a little loud. It was a little piercing, but man, this is a good track. This is a solid, really well done track. Yeah, there's a lot of high end. There's a ton of energy in the high end, which is good. It could be a little bit much, but great vocals, great work laying out that intro. It built up very nicely. I mean, there's not too much I can say about that. It is definitely sort of generic as far as what, you know, people perceive progressive house to be. Like this is definitely a generic style of progressive house, but I'm not going to kill you on that either. It's like that's progressive house. It's like that's called a genre, you know? And I think he did a really good job working with this genre. I don't even think there's too much more I have to listen to that. I can't really bash too much just based on that. It's really excellent work here. Excellent work. That's a very solid track. Fancy Floss. Good stuff. Good stuff. Where am I here? Yeah, I got someone right at the bottom, so now I can go up to the top. Hector Lopez. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that last track was definitely really loud, but I think the other tracks were just a little quieter. I think that other track was the loudness was fine to me. This is cool. I like this. This is another ambient track right here. So it's not quite as musical in structure as a lot of the other tracks, but from the ambient tracks that I've heard, this is definitely not the worst that I've heard. This actually seems like it's pretty well done. I like the vocals that were used here. I think the instruments that were used and the sound effects, they blend really well together. I think it's a really good flow that you have throughout this track. Some good transitions in there as well. Some great ambience. There is it's a little bit muddy in the low end, in like the mid to low end in some portions, but not all the way through. That's only in certain portions. I think overall this track is pretty dang good. Let's see. Yeah, the vocals were great. I part of me wants to hear a little more reverb on the vocals. Like the vocals, from what I can hear, are actually pretty mono. Part of me wants to hear delay and reverb on the vocals that would like spread it out kind of throughout the stereo spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So I can get more ambience there as well. They seem a little dry to me, but that's the main thing that I would hear in this kind of music. Also, there are probably other elements that could apply to as well, like in percussions and stuff like that. Some more reverb and delay and things like that as well. Yeah, there's guitars in it, which is really cool. I thought that they wouldn't necessarily that wouldn't necessarily work, but I can hear it right here. There's guitar in the back, and I think it's really cool. Ambience is not ambience if you don't keep your wet knob at 100%. Yeah, like not everything has to have reverb, but like the main elements, I feel like some more reverb would be cool here. But that's the main criticism I have of this. It's a cool ambient track you got here. So, good work. Let's see, I'll take this one. Your best track, electronic. Pretty cool. It's a nicely laid out track, in my opinion. It's for the style that it is. I think it's pretty nice. The one thing the couple of things that I sort of notice in that is I think the bass is a little bit loud. Like it's just a little bit heavy in the bass, but it is a cool track. I would also say the main vocal should be brought up a little more. It should be brought up and be a little more up front in the mix. I also hear some sort of vocal sound effects that are kind of left and right and side to side, and those are a little bit loud, like sort of bring the vocal up to match those. That's what I would say is the vocal is sort of kind of falling behind, and I got to make sure I'm not falling behind in my mic, but and the vocal is sort of falling behind a little bit, so I want to bring that forward and kind of highlight that a little more in a track such as this, but not too much else that I have to say. The plucks are very nice. As far as melodic content goes, it's very well laid out. I enjoy it. I would like to hear a point in this track where the drums sort of lift. You know what I'm saying? Where there's kind of like a breakdown where there isn't necessarily drums all the time. Yeah, 2012, it's sort of it is kind of it's sort of generic as far as the style that it is, but I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I'm not gonna bash anyone for that if that's the style they're going for. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, main thing, I just want those vocals to be a little more upfront and bigger in the mix, so we can hear those a little better. That's my biggest critique for that. But cool stuff. So yeah, I'm working my way towards the more recent stuff. Yeah, let's get into the Saturday ones. William Lee. Some more hip hop and rap. I kind of like this intro. Okay, this is kind of cool. I like the idea that it started with, especially this kind of the melody and the intro. It's sort of a dark feel. I like the instrument that was used, but I feel like it's a lot of lacking. Yeah, it's a little flat to me. I think a big part of it is I'd want to hear a kick that's a little less kind of lasery and snappy, and I want a kick that's more thumpy and kind of hits you like it's more of a thud, like a thump, that like a punch that you can feel a little more. And maybe a snare that's also a little less dry. It's like a lot of the dryness comes from the drums, in my opinion. The drums are a little dry. Like there isn't really too much flavor there, and you could add like reverb and some other things on top of the melody that you have there as well, just something to sort of fill out that empty space, because there is a good amount of empty space here and it sort of needs some filling out. Like I know there might be vocals on top of this, but even with the vocals there, it's like you'd want something else to kind of fill out that background space. So a little less dry for the drums, maybe get a kick that's a little more thumpy and a little less lasery, and just add some more layers as far as melody to sort of fill up those areas. That's what I would do. That would be my first my first critique of that. But yeah, someone else said more bass. Yeah, the 808, if there is an 808, like the bass that you have there, whether it's just a sub or an 808, it could be boosted up a little bit more, it could be a little thicker, that could be stronger, that would also help the power of the track. But yeah, cool idea to start out with. It's just the execution of it is really what I would say I have some criticisms on. But cool, Papa Lee, thank you. We can go ahead and skip back another page. We're getting close to the new ones here. See, what is this? Some more hip hop and rap. We're getting a lot of hip hop and rap. I'm not opposed to that. Trap metal. Yeah.
Hey, hi, welcome to the ride. I don't wanna lie yet, so you can hide. What we even doing, you can see it on the poster. Welcome to the 2020 roller coaster. Yeah, start of the year, and it's already not fair. It started off with the Australian fires, World War III and the coronavirus. violence. And because of that, we had to stop school. I've been finding, yeah, that it up on the Zoom. You can see it on the poster. Yeah, it's be Brian, yeah, that's a big void. Do get back. I don't want to come to the 2020 roller coaster.
All right. That's a cool track. That's a cool idea for a track. I'm not hating on the concept at all. Again, I'm going to kind of go back to on an execution level. First thing is that somewhere I'd like to feel an 808 come in, like at some point. That's what I want to feel on a track such as this.
Yeah, so you can hide. 2020 roller coaster.
I feel a kick, but even the kick doesn't really punch through that much. It doesn't really punch through the mix very well. As far as the vocals go, I really don't think the vocal performance was bad. But I think I can hear where the vocals are layered a lot. You know what I'm saying? Where you're kind of layering the vocals. And what I would recommend when layering vocals like that is to also mess around with the panning of them as well. Like if you have 3 vocals all at once, it's not necessarily a good idea to put them all in mono. You might want to kind of pan them around a little differently to sort of surround the listener, and that could raise the interest value, and it would make the vocals sound a little less muddy when layered together.
I don't wanna hide, yeah, so you can hide. What we even do phone easily.
Also, you could kind of bring them up in the mix a little more. A little bit of reverb would be cool as well to give it some room, just to make sure that that's really highlighted.
Hop on the Zoom. Welcome to the 2020 roller coaster. Second quarter, yeah, everybody's locked up.
Yeah, I would say that and lack of bass are probably the two things that I'm sort of itching for when it comes to this track. But overall, it doesn't sound like this track, as far as it's laid out, is bad at all. I think it's a nice good short 2-minute track that hits a good vibe. Generally I'm about it, so it's not a bad track. Let's see, where were we? Yeah, we were down here, so I'm gonna go up here. And it looks like even more hip hop and rap.
Devil never cry. Try it, what I like. Devil never cry. Eventually lie. Devil never cry. Why you even try? Devil never cry. Why you wanna die like ya? Devil never cry. Try it, what I like ya. Devil, my own feelings. You don't know what to like. Whoa, devil, my own feelings. It's very revealed like whoa. Say just your power. People thought say just a missile. Oh, come out to play. Beyond this being ready to slay. Court. Seems they kill me looking for a war, but when I bring it burn, I'm hearing the roar. But it ain't over yet. Demons cry for agony. I'll put them to rest with 2 guns named Ebony irony. Now I know I'm being up.
Someone asked if this level of bass is okay. I think the level of bass is fine. I'm not opposed to the level of bass. I think the majority of the things I hear in the track are probably with the vocals. Someone says auto-tune for the vocals. If they were going for an auto-tune vibe for the vocals, I feel like that would definitely be beneficial. Like if that's something that you think would work with the track, I'm definitely not opposed to the auto-tune. It could be kind of beneficial. The vocals are kind of pitchy. It doesn't really work out very well. Everyone's talking about Eliminate. I love watching his vids.
It's very revealed like whoa, devil.
And I think those parts where you're layering the vocals, they could also be a little bit more on time together. That's the thing with vocals, is that you have to make sure when you're layering your vocals that they are right on time. Otherwise, it's going to sound weird. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're layering guitars together and you have guitars, maybe one far to the right, one far to the left, and they're not exactly on time, it could be kind of interesting. Like it could be kind of cool when you're layering that. But when you're layering vocals, they really should be almost as exact on the line with each other as you can. And then just making sure that the vocals stay in line with the track. And like I said before, if you think auto-tune would be good for the track. Like if that's a good style that you want to go for, then that could also help it.
They kill me. Devil never cry.
Also, it's a little bit dry and up front in some areas, maybe a little more reverb as well. I don't want to critique too much of the vocal performance because I myself am not like that great of a vocalist for things like that. But so I'm not gonna go too deep into that. But the beat in the background doesn't sound half bad. Like I can tell there's some good instrumentals in the background and the drums are all good, so not too much I have to say about that. So awesome. How often do we do track reviews? Every now and then. It's kind of back and forth. We might do them a little more often. We have to just perfect the system in which we're doing this. They're pretty popular, so we like doing them here. So yeah, more will definitely come in the future, but sort of back and forth, just every now and then. Let's see. Let me go up to kind of skip around a little more. ARMZ YouTube, our first YouTube link.
6 million ways to die, choose one.
See, I don't know whether to listen for, like to judge this as a hip hop instrumental or to judge this as its own track, because part of me wants to think of it as if vocals are going to go on top of it, but part of me also wants to not do that because it sounds like there's so many little things going on. It's more like an ambient track almost. Yeah, like it's almost ambient, but it's like, it's almost like a hip hop instrumental as well. It's kind of strange. I mean, I like the samples used here. Like you got the flute here, you have synth stuff happening, you have vocal stuff happening, you have a lot of interesting things happening, and I dig it. I actually do like it. It's a very ambient style that I don't think you would hear. It's not something you'd hear on a hype playlist. This is like something I'd listen to if it was like background music. You know what I'm saying? Like a live stream of this kind of music on repeat. But for what it is, it's like I'm going to judge it like a lo-fi hip-hop ambient thing. Thought it was UK D&B. Yeah, this is the genre bender here. And honestly, I'm totally cool with that. I think this is a really neat track. I would probably turn up the drums a little bit, but that's just me. If you were to add vocals on it, if you were to add vocals on it, you'd want to turn up the drums. That's what I would say. But other than that, just make sure your instruments aren't clashing too much in the low end and the mid range, and that would be all the advice I have for that one. It's a fun little track. Fun track. All right, let's go. See, this is still Saturday, so I'll do one more from Saturday. goes down into a breakdown. Oh, see, this is how to properly do a breakdown. I think this is where they did a good job with this, because at this point it's starting to get like a little bit repetitive in my eyes. Like the melody is cool, it's fun, it's happy, it's kind of jump up, it works well with the track and the vibe of the track, and then it goes down into this and the melody gets nice and soft and then it builds back up. There's like a low pass filter that's sort of opening up here. You got some vocals. And yeah, someone talking about the build up. Yeah, that is a true statement. The build up could be a little better. Yeah, no, jump up wasn't the right word to use. I was just searching for there's more energy to it. Like it's a bouncy is what I'm looking for. Yeah, I think for the style that it is, I think it works out pretty well. Just make sure to add some variation, I think, in these parts. Because it is kind of the same thing over again. It's like we've heard the synth melody. We've heard the synth melody before in the intro. So just kind of make some changes to make sure it doesn't get too boring and get too lost. But yeah, this is definitely not jump up. It's just a bouncy track. So bouncy track, bouncy, happy drum and bass music. Interesting, fun stuff. Now we're getting to things that are a little more recent. Let's see. So I started. Let's see. I'll take Jim K. Can't say that I fully understand the style, but it is really interesting. It sounds like some weird experimental kind of liquid style. There's some ambience in the background that's coming through, but you have some darker tones along with some lighter sine wave plucks. One thing I hear is that it seems like there's some sub that's stereo, that's kind of stereo. I don't think that's necessarily a great idea. I think you should make sure that when you have sub bass, that your sub bass is in mono. Stereo sub bass can cause some phase problems. It sounds a little strange when played through speakers. I don't think it's good to do that in stereo. You should make sure all your sub bass is mono in both the kick and in the other sounds. But there's like birds behind it. And the liquid sounds, the liquid kind of texture-y sounds are sort of interesting. Yeah, anything under 130, at least under 100. You know what I'm saying? At least under 100, everything should be mono, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not really going to dish you on style here. It's like, that's your style. I'm not going to hate on the creativity for what it is. I think it works out pretty well. I think that it could be mixed a little better. I think the kick could punch a little bit more. I think the kick is kind of lost in the background. Maybe it's just the sample of the kick that you chose. Maybe the kick is the right level. It's just not the sample that I would have chosen. But yeah, it's an interesting sort of old sounding, ambient, strange, weird style house track. That's kind of fun. That is kind of fun. Let's see. So right now I'm at 3. Let's take this one here. This is Google Drive. I can't do the Google Drive. I can do SoundCloud though. Hello. I don't think this is really necessary. Y'all wanted something heavy?
Fuck 'em. What the fuck? Motherfucking glass.
This is really dope. Like, I don't. This is awesome. It's a weird hybrid trap heavy mix. It's really distorted, but I understand that that's the style. You know what I'm saying? It's like when the kick comes through, it's like boom, like it's really pounding because it's distorted. But I mean, that's the style of music. If it were me, I would have mixed the kick a little lower in, just like a little lower in, because even though it is distorted, that's perfectly fine. Even though it is still a little bit loud in my opinion. But man, other than that, this is a really interesting track. I really enjoyed. It's got some good elements here. It's mixing back and forth really well. It keeps my attention. It's got a little melody in the background. It's I really enjoy this actually. There could be more. There could be more things happening in this bridge and intro. In my opinion, you could have some more interesting things happening to keep the attention. But
streets, money, getting money, streets, the streets, money, streets, fuck your bitch, what's up? Fuck 'em.
I love the sound design in here. That's dope. I like this a lot. That's excellent work on that one. Yeah, other than the kick, that's really all I have to say about that. That's great. Got some really good tracks in here so far. There hasn't been a ton of tracks that I've really grilled. You know what I'm saying? I haven't publicly shamed anybody, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. And that's awesome. That's cool stuff. And now since these are a little more recent, so I'm not going to skip around quite as much. I'm going to do a little more per page for these cuz these are the more recent ones. Starting kind of slow. I actually like this a lot. I'm really enjoying it. I like the mixture of bass, like really dirty and heavy bass with like melodic elements layered on top of it. It sounds really cool. Part of me wants the drums to hit a little bit harder, like the kick to be a little more smacky. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is... It's sort of... I feel like it's too melodic to be jump up. I don't think this isn't really jump up. It's too melodic to be jump up. It's too progressive. It's very ambient. I like it a lot. The fast tempo did... yeah, no, it's not jump up. The fast tempo did kind of catch me off guard when it first dropped. But I think that's mainly just on me. Like there wasn't really any drums right here pretty much until right before the drop hits. Like right before the drop hits, then you have some fast drums building up. But it's not necessarily a bad thing to catch me off guard. It didn't... It was a pleasant surprise when it came. It's like I knew it was coming because it said drum and bass. But when it hit at that one moment... I like it. It's like a mixture of dark and light. It works out pretty well. Just heavier drums is probably the one thing that I would have done differently if it were me. But obviously, I'm not everyone. I'm not everyone's stylistic choice. But that's the first thing I would think of. Yeah, if it's your second time listening, you definitely know what to expect. Yeah, sound effects are good. The mixing sounds pretty alright. I'm down with that. Good track overall. Well done. I agree. Excellent work. Alright. We'll go this person. Pyro. Dubstep. We got you, Dubstep. Bringing the heat with that one. That was pretty cool. Yeah, there's a couple things here. I think I don't take it more personally that I'm going a little more depth into this one, mainly just because there's more stuff I hear automatically from producing dubstep a little more than I produce ambient music. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little more well versed in this. But really, the main thing is just mixing. It's like I think the drums could be brought up a little bit. There were some sound effects in the background, some filler things such as ARPs and like background layers that I think could be brought down a little bit because it was overshadowing kind of overshadowing everything else. There was too much background noise happening. I want to kind of take that back so the basses can have their space. Like there's a lot of background space, so I'd kind of lower that down a little bit. And also side chaining. Someone was saying in the chat, a little stronger side chaining would also be necessary for the kick and the snare, so they could hit a little better and be a little more impactful. That would be all good. Oh, that's all good. If this was your track, that's all good, man. It's just mixing stuff. Like you really went ham on the basses, and yeah, I got a lot of high frequencies going on. That is true, but I mean that's true with a lot of dubstep, to be honest. Yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff going on there too. That's pretty awesome. Also, just make sure when you're mixing basses that sort of the low end and mid range doesn't collide too much with the other sounds. That's another certain part of the mixing. But I like going more melodic in the second half, in the second drop right here, getting a bass that actually plays some kind of melody. That's always really refreshing to hear in songs like this. So good work with that as well. Change in drum beat there. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. So overall, this is a really cool track. Nice work. Nice work, Pyro. Excellent. All right. And we can go up here. Let me go Sidechain. Unreleased. Killer sub right here. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. That's some hard trap right there. That's some fun stuff. I like what you did here. I don't think that there's anything too controversial that you added for hard trap styles. A lot of hard trap utilizes kind of the same sounds, so there's not too much of a problem there. I will say I think the sub is a little loud. I think it just goes a little harder than it should. You can kind of ease back on that. But also another thing I hear in styles like this is the sub is usually distorted a little more than this. Like I would crank it through a little more distortion. Because right now the sub is very clean. It's just like a very clean sub bass. It sounds like it has a couple harmonics on top of it, but I would add something a little more, just like a little thicker. If this is a sub or an 808 or whatever it is, something with a little more harmonics on top could be very interesting. It could work really well to fill out that area. Yeah, just make white noise and distort. Yeah, just something to make the sub a little dirtier, a little crunchier. That would be pretty cool. I also feel like there could be some elements in the intro to make it a little more interesting. Like in these areas, like I feel like I would want to add some kind of vocal or something like that, some sound effect, or just something to keep the interest, to make sure that the person is keeping interested, that they're not going to click away just onto the next track because it's getting boring. You know what I'm saying? That's because the drop is worth waiting for. It's like it's some solid hybrid trap, or not hybrid trap, hard trap. So fun stuff, good work from Sidechain here. And now we can see. Let me go to this next page. Yeah, I have a couple of pages of recent tracks, and these tracks are going to be pretty much. Yeah, these tracks would be pretty much from when I started the live stream. So we'll take Adam here. comment, and it'll let you know where you can send your track. Yeah, I think overall this isn't bad. I think especially because I'm picturing it right now with like a vocal on top. I think there are some mixing things like yeah, there were a lot of hip hop tracks in this stream so far. But yeah, I think the sidechain was one of the things that was a little too heavy. It's like everything's ducking down really hard to the kick, which I don't think needs to happen. Like the kick isn't heavy enough to really require that much sidechaining, so I wouldn't do it nearly to that extent. I would say I'd want to bring the drums up a little bit more if vocals would be in here. Like just make them a little more present, and then change ups in the melody, sort of layers, you know, just some other things to keep it interesting. You don't have to make it too complicated, but just some things to make it a little less boring, so it's not just like sort of the same melody loop over and over. Like there's some interesting things that you kind of add or take away here and there to kind of help the track flow a little better. I think that's my main critique with that, but especially if a vocal is going to be on top of this is not bad. Yeah, the sidechain's the main thing for me. It's just the side where things are ducking down too much. That's probably the biggest thing for me. Okay, there's a little more. There's some other instruments coming in here. You got the gross beat, you know, messing with that around. You could add some more reverb to that, just stuff like that to fill out that empty background space. So cool, interesting. Fun stuff. Let's see. So we were down here. Let's see. Let's go. This person. Dancing EDM. Oh, well, there we go. I didn't even see the comment, but here we are. That's cool. That's some cool that you added the guitar in the end. That's interesting. So that's fun. This is a cool track. I like the theme of the track that you have going here. I think it has a cool vibe. I think there are some things mainly in sort of the mixing and the layout. The first thing, I think the intro lasts a little bit long for the style that it is. Like I would probably shorten the intro before the drop hits. Like there's the drop at like 1:15. I feel like it could happen a little earlier. And just to keep the listener from getting bored, you know what I'm saying? I think other than that, it's mainly just mixing. Like I'd want the drums to be a little louder and the drums to punch a little harder and just to be a little more energetic there. And the chant is a little loud in the drop. yeah, like the chant just doesn't really fit in that moment. If you add like more like reverb and delay and make it really ambient and just turn it down a little bit, then it could work in the background, and that could be cool. I.e. vocal chant, yeah. But yeah, it'd have to be mixed in a little better in that sense. But it's got a cool theme, and I want to listen to that guitar again because that guitar was cool. Cool stuff. Yeah, I guess I have for like the second drop, it's pretty much the same criticisms as I had for the other one. It's like the chant is a hit in the chat. The chant is a hit. That's a cool track. Overall I like it. It's mainly just mixing stuff. That's just the main thing I have to say. It's got a cool vibe. It's got a cool theme. I appreciate it. Yeah, there was let's see. I'm here. Wafers has been here quite a long time, to be completely fair. Let's see, what is that? This is here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick another track, and then Wafers, let me know what your name is. Name will show up here like in the email. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll take a listen to that, because you have been here. You have been here for a while. That is very true. I'm going to listen to this person. Raphael. Okay, Raphael P. This seems interesting. We're going to get like Deathstep.
The Spanish Inquisition.
That was cool. I like that a lot. I knew exactly the kind of style that was coming up when I started to play the intro. I'm glad it went there because I was looking forward to it, and that hit hard. That was really nice. I will say I don't think all the basses are created equal. You know what I'm saying? I think some of the basses in here are better than others. But then again, a lot of that is style. I think it was well put together. I think it was pretty well structured. The mixing was not bad at all. It's like that. It's like a death rhythm mixture. You know what I'm saying? You got like the rhythm drums in there. I think it's got a cool theme for the style that it is. I think it's pretty well done. Got good ambience. And you got a change up. That was cool. Yeah, good use of samples here. I think it's really well done. Tear out. Yeah. It's got some machine gun ish basses. It's like tear out-y. I always get really weird when talking about the specifics and differences of very specific genres, because like everyone's an elitist and they'll grill you on it. But you made a cool track. That's the important thing. I like your track. There isn't really too much I have to say about it. I think it's really cool. But yeah, cool stuff. I'm looking for Raphael. I said I'd look for a wafer here, so I do want to get to Raphael. Let me see if I can find. I can kind of skip back and forth now, but I did say I'd get to it, so I don't think it'd be this recent. See, I'll look for more people. I'm getting to that point where I'm going to look for more people. But let's see, 12. Oh, I missed it. Okay. Well, I know that it's here somewhere. So it must be on the second page. Raphael, there we go. Nice. Gotcha. Destroyed. Some nice ambience. That was cool. I like that. I like it's like a melodic rhythm. It's not melodic rhythm like color bass. It's more melodic rhythm, like it's rhythm that you just had like used to play a melody with the bass that you use, which I think was really cool. I like that style. I think it's awesome. I think really the main criticism I have are just in the mixing. Like it's not necessarily a long track, so there isn't too much. Like I can't really grill you on structure or anything like that. I'd probably say I'd like the drums to sort of be a little bit louder, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe like take the bass back a little bit, or just increase the sidechain. Actually, no, the sidechain sounds fine. It'd be more like taking back the bass and bringing up the level of drums, just to make sure that it really punches through. Because You said drums are some Ghosthack and chants are Ghosthack. That's all good, but you made the basses yourself, and the basses sound pretty cool. Yeah, someone said more like effects and fills to like contrast, just like the main bass, which could also be a cool idea, like adding bass fills or drum fills in there just to kind of switch up the vibe, so it's not necessarily the whole thing going the whole time. But this is a cool. You have an awesome visualizer. Did a good job with that. And you did a pretty good job with this track. I like the track. I think it was pretty cool. Yeah, switch up the flow. Yeah, that would be like a second drop thing, is where you'd switch it up and then you'd go into like a completely different kind of basses. That's where you do that. This is kind of a one drop track, just a quick 2 minute thing right there, but cool stuff. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have that stuck in my head now. Tommy B is here. I did see Tommy B in the chat earlier, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab this track right here. Wait, didn't I listen to this track last time? I remember listening to a Tommy B track last time, but I don't remember if it was this track. Okay, that was pretty cool. That was fun. It was like some almost some bass house, but not like super bass house. It wasn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Wouldn't really be considered bass house. Forget I said that. But that's like. I think it's pretty interesting. I'm not a big fan of the main synth sound, but I think for the track that it is, it turned out pretty good. I think the mixing is pretty solid. Part of me wants to hear a little more ambience or things in the background in the drop, but other than that, it sounds good to me. Or maybe some more cymbals. You can get like a kind of hi-hat in there, or ride cymbal in there, just to fill up some of the empty space, at least like in the second half of the drop. That would be pretty cool to do that. Now, this is kind of fun.
Just drop it in my face,
And we're building up.
drop it in my face.
Yeah, that's cool. I would probably add more sort of change ups in the second drop, like maybe change up the sound or add some different level of intensity, just to do something to switch up from the first drop would be my recommendation. But yeah, overall, not a bad track at all. That's pretty cool. Got a lot of people giving suggestions in the chat too, which is pretty cool. It's fun stuff. Pyro. Okay, I already done a track from this person, so that's all good. Let me go back to page 1 because some people said they were resending some of their stuff. tear out live stream. I'll take this person's. I'm looking forward to this. Nice. That's cool. Mids are suffering fiercely. Yeah, it's very mid heavy. This is a really heavy track. There's really only a couple things that I would say as far as what I hear, just like right off the bat. The first one is I do at least something to hint at a little bit of the drop in the the intro. Like there almost isn't even a build up. You can see like it barely builds up. Like there's just a little bit when it starts to build up beforehand. So like it's an awesome track, just like a little bit more of a build up to build the tension. So like people know just like a little bit of what's coming. And then probably like the main machine gun bass, the main that pluck bass, like a little bit of variation maybe in the second half, like slightly change it up a little bit. You know, just like so it's not exactly the same sound happening the whole time through. But like other than that, this is a really good track. It's heavy as balls, it's mixed really well. It's just a good track. That sort of rhythm switch up here is also pretty cool. Yeah, that's really cool. And you could utilize that sort of different like if you made a variation of the pluck, you could utilize a variation in the second drop as well, and that would be pretty cool. But this is an awesome track. Way to go with this one. This one's dope. I like it. I like it a lot. Let me refresh. We do some refreshing. Let's see, okay, yeah, we got some new stuff. Some new stuff happening here. It's a little harder to see exactly who sent what, but I'll choose this person because this is pretty recent. Already I'm gonna say this is crushed a little too much.
super flow.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. It's a little, there's too much going on, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot trying to happen at once, and then yeah, the drop doesn't, even though the drop is like technically as loud as the rest, you know what I'm saying? Like it actually is 0 dB. It doesn't sound as loud because the perceived loudness is different when you come in with the sub. It's it doesn't sound as loud, so I think the whole thing's just a little too crushed, and there's a little too much happening at once. Nothing really has room to breathe. It almost sounds like two tracks that are in the same tempo that are sort of just layered on top of each other, so it doesn't really end up working out too well just for as the amount of stuff that's there. So that's what I would kind of say about that. It's a little hard to follow. There's a lot of difference in loudness. What should be the ideal goal for loudness? For me personally, I push my tracks as loud as I can without sacrificing quality. Once I crank it too loud and the quality gets worse, then I ease back just a little bit. But it all depends on the style you're making. Some people hard disagree with that. Some people will sacrifice quality for loudness. It depends on who you're talking to. But yeah, it definitely does depend on the style. So, all right. Yeah, it does depend on the genre. Let's see. I'm just trying to look. I'm trying to make sure that some people are still represented here as far as what I'm listening to. Let's see. Does anybody see that? Let me see. RDJ. Okay, or not RDJ. RJD. I saw a couple of comments for RDG a while ago, so, or RDJ. Did I say RJD? I can't remember it. It's easy to remember, but I keep forgetting. Good guitar part,
would you care or hold it all against me? When I'm gone, I'm a ghost, ride in my Bentley. See the flames, it don't matter, I know you resent me. Feeling hot, I'ma rob the devil's gonna get me. If I died, would you care or hold it all against me? When I'm gone, I'm a ghost, ride in my Bentley. See the flames, it don't matter, I know you resent me. Feeling hot, I'ma rob the devil's gonna get me. See the horde, I'ma roar, flying like a dragon. Bloody gore, grab my sword, use it one-handed. In my dreams, I'm a king, but I have fallen. Deeper sleep, feeling weak, lying in a coffin. Time in my ring, and I've been roaming my dream weed. I'm black now, darker soul, darker thoughts in my mind. Feeling gone, yeah, I'm lost, losing time. Rewind, where's the button? I can't find it. Pull up, yeah, but I'm leaving blinded.
Yeah, all right. This isn't half bad. It's one of those things where I really do like the beat. I think the beat works really well. It's like almost a storytelling beat. Like you have that guitar happening in the background. You got a good trap beat behind it. The vocals are generally produced well. Yeah, the quality of the guitar sounds good. The quality of the vocals, it's more on the vocal performance and a little less on the vocal, like the quality of the vocal recording. I think that the vocals are like a little bit out of time and they're not exactly on pitch. Like there's some performance issues with the vocals, you know what I'm saying? I think it doesn't necessarily stack up the way that it should, but as far as the beat goes and as far as the actual processing on it, it ends up working out pretty well.
Die or hold it all against me. When I'm gone, I'm a ghost, ride in my Bentley. See the flames, it don't matter, I know you resent me. Feeling hot, I'ma rob the devil's gonna get me.
Yeah, it's just a little pitchy, and there's just a little, just some time areas that isn't exactly that aren't really exactly on beat as far as the vocals. But that's the main thing I hear in this. The beat behind it is great. The guitar is great. There's a lot of this track that I really like. So good stuff. Cool. Okay, so I have a lot of tracks here. I'm gonna see if I recognize any of the people that have been commenting. Okay, this person I know sent one. This person said they sent one a while back, like when we first sent out the email, but now I'm seeing their name pop up right here, so it looks like they resent. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a listen. Looking for your name, Magnanimous. I just can't find it. This is very chill. I like the ambient chill drum and bass vibe is a really interesting. It's a very interesting vibe. It's a fun listen. I would say I would like to hear a little bit of bass action. You know, like it is drum and bass, and I am hearing some bass in it. But like whether there's some like liquid D&B like neuro just Reese's kind of bubbling up from the surface every now and then, just a little bit of bass action because there's a lot of drum, but only a little bit of bass. So maybe balancing those out would be a good thing, just to bring in some basses every now and then, to just hover behind the piano. You can even take a back seat to the piano. I'm fine with that, or the other just melodic elements. Because you have like a synth going on here. It's it's generally good stuff. It's generally good stuff melodically. I think it sounds very well. You did a good job with the transition. It doesn't sound weird. Like there are a lot of times when people try to add the like slow, chill melodic things over a really fast drum and bass beat, and it doesn't work. But I feel like it works in this scenario. It does. It just needs some spice, just a little, just some hints of some other effects or basses or things. Just keep it interesting. That's all I'm saying. So cool. That's a lot of fun. A lot of fun right there. Let's see, there's more RDJ. Let's see. I'm just looking for people that I recognize. Let me see. This person is in chat right now. Okay, we got some electronic, lo-fi. Not too much happening so far. Okay. Yeah, people are talking about the tags. I mean, honestly, this is a weird sort of blend of genres. Like I feel like it kind of needs like a lot of different tags to describe each bit. But yeah, this is an interesting track. It's like a weird electronic synth mixture. I think some of the synth sounds are a little more piercing than others. Like someone was talking about the flute. It's like, yeah, that sort of synth flute sound was a little bit piercing. Some of the synths don't go as well together. Some kind of clash melodically. But the one thing for me that sort of stuck out, which I'd like to get past this, but is the kick. The kick is very stereo. It's really strange to me, like the kick itself is stereo. I'm hearing the kick like out here. Like a kick should be kind of up front, you know, and in the center, just to kind of punch through in mono. But the kick I'm hearing out here, which is really strange. And that might be some of the clicks that people are hearing in the background, like there's some clicks in the kick and in the hi-hats and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm definitely not opposed to the melody. Just make sure that it's nice and smooth and like the synths aren't too piercing. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my recommendation for that. And also just make sure that the synths don't loop too much to the point where they get boring. Make sure they can kind of fade out and in, and there's transitions. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't it doesn't become boring or too repetitive. You know, that's what I would say. So those are my critiques on that. It's a cute track though. It's a fun little electronic track. All right, so yeah, flute a little bit harsh. Let's see. Purple Gusher. I believe Purple Gusher either was in the chat or is still. I remember people talking about purple. Yeah, I can do a refresh. Yeah, the snare is kind of gone. It's hiding. It's hiding from you. Oh, okay. Cool. That's interesting. It's a lot of very sort of atonal, chromatic rhythm that you got going here. It's like, well, it's not really it's a weird mix of styles here. I would say one thing that sort of sticks out to me is there seems to be a lot of like reverb and room sound on the main glitch bass sound you're using, and that's causing it to get a little washed out. Like the sound design is really cool. It's some cool sound design here. But what I would do is whatever amounts of like reverb or delay or whatever you have on it, just sort of like turn that down a little bit so you do have a nice solid signal in said it was emo rhythm. Emo rhythm, that's a genre. I have to make that on a live stream. But yeah, just like turning down a little bit of the room noise in the main bass could be beneficial to have it be a little more upfront and just a little bit drier and a little bit stronger. Also, I think the sub is a little bit loud, or maybe it's just a little too high. It sounds like the sub's kind of mid-heavy. I'd either lower the sub an octave, but if it's too low, going down one more octave is too low, then I would just kind of lower the volume of the sub instead. That would be my advice. But it's a really cool style. I like this. I like this interesting experimental electronic dubstep rhythm genre. It's very sound design focused. I'm about it. Yeah, it just sounds like the sub's at like a little bit of a weird pitch. But yeah, cool. That's a fun bass track right there. Let me look for some more people. I did do a refresh, so some more stuff probably came in. Let me look for who's in the chat. Let's see. It is kind of hard to see when like the name in the chat is not necessarily the name in the email, which I understand that that's not always the case. I'm not ripping on you guys for that, but because I'm the same way. But let's see. Got a lot of chats. I'm trying to see if there's anyone just because I just refreshed right now. So there should be at least someone here. Let's see. Dell. My name's okay. Magnanimous, if that's how you pronounce it, said his name is the same. So let me. Got a lot of chats happening here. It's hard to keep up. Did I miss it? I'm just gonna like we're sort of wrapping up the stream here, so I just wanna get to some final people. I wanna grant some final wishes. It must have been back here. I'm not seeing a magnanimous. Here's the thing. I know that I can't find it. It's not here. Here, let me refresh again. I'm not really reading the titles as much as I am looking at the names right now. Let me see. I did see this person in the chat before.
Vegeta, please help me. What did I just witness? For just a split second, his speed and power skyrocketed.
He won't be able to fight anymore. Take your injured friend and leave this planet. Just go back to where you came from right now.
He's psycho. He just killed his own partner for no reason.
I have no use for a paralyzed Saiyan. You're dead weight now.
That's pretty cool. I kind of like the vibe. I love the vocals that you used in here. I think the theme works really well with what's going on here. I sort of wish that the basses were a little bit heavier. Like it has a vibe of that one Virtual Riot track. Shindaru, I believe is the name of that one. I forget exactly, but it has that sort of weird squelchy vibe. But I would like to see it to be a little heavier, a little crunchier. Yeah, Shindaru, if that's how that's pronounced. I would also like to see some change-ups because it is kind of the same wet, juicy growl, which is cool. It's a nice, juicy growl, which is fun to listen to. But like some change-ups would also be in order. But good job with the vocals and the theme and everything. The clap could also be a little more impactful. Like the kick is nice and strong. It punches through and it's real nice. And then the clap is just kind of it's not really anything too special. So I would kind of make the track, or not make the track, make the clap a little bit heavier and stronger as well. You can add a little more impact to the clap, and that could be fun. At least that's what I would do if this was me making the track.
Help me.
Yeah, good vocals. Yeah, good stuff. Overall, that's a pretty cool juicy rhythm track. I found Magnanimous though. I had to search. I don't know why it took me so long. But here we are. One person likes it. Let's see. Love the Arabic sound. I love the percussions you added there. I think that was really interesting. You have some good change ups. You have good melodies. The mix down is very clean. I like it. There's one thing that I noticed is like in the drop. There's that one sound that's like you have that. It's almost like a percussive bass. I don't even know what it is, but a part of me thinks that that's a little bit loud, that you could take that down a little bit. But I mean, that's just nitpicking. Like, honestly, I like this track. I think it does lack some cymbals, like in the high end, whether that be like ride cymbals or little crash cymbals or hi-hats or something like that, just something airy to go at the top to kind of fill out that the upper part of the EQ spectrum. But I really do like this track. That is a really cool track. I like it. I like it a lot. Good work. Good work. Yeah, I had to go back a couple of pages, but I got it. I got it. Let's see. Yeah, definitely more. Let's see, claps. Yeah. Nice. Name and email. Yeah. I did see Elevate a couple of times. So. Not on this page. Not on that page. E1. There we go. Let's give this a listen. Some more dubstep for you guys.
Promise me one thing, give me your heart, and I'll give you the world. Girl, that's a start. They say that love's a game. They try to outrun, they try to outgun, they can't get enough of its touch. I do this shit with a rush. Promise me one thing, give me your heart, and I'll give you the world. Girl, that's a start. They say that love's a game. They try to outrun, they try to outgun, they can't get enough of its touch. I do this shit with a rush. Don't get ahead of yourself, wasting my time, I can tell. Talk to me, babe, honestly, I don't trust anyone else. Put my love on a shelf, you know I'm going through hell. Look at my face, every night I'm just crying for help. Am I holding on to nothing? They say love is going bad on us, baby. Am I standing in for something? Is it time me I got out of your way? Am I holding?
Someone asked if it's Reese or Reese, and I'm here to tell you that the correct spelling is actually Reese.
On to nothing. They say love is going bad on us, baby. Am I standing in for something?
This is not half bad at all. Like I'm actually pretty alright with this. That's a good drop. You did a pretty good job mixing, especially the kick and the snare with the basses together. I think the basses sort of worked nice together. It didn't have a super consistent theme in the drop, but you did have some main basses that were repeating that I was able to follow a little better. Sub is a tad quiet, that is true, but overall it sounded pretty good. The vocals also worked pretty well. I think that part didn't really fit in quite as well as the first one did, but it was still pretty interesting. You still had a good layout as far as the way the basses were laid out. It didn't stitch together quite as well, but I mean, that is true. The drums were mixed together pretty well. And that Reese in the background is pretty nice. And yeah, for like 15 years old, being a beginner, this is a solid track. I think he did a good job with this track. I think overall it was very nice. I would also make sure when you're doing your build-ups to not have a lot of sub during your build-ups. I actually cut my sub during my build-ups. Like as the track is building up to the drop, I just high pass it. So you don't have any sub bass, so the sub bass comes in when the drop hits, and that'll make your drop hit a little harder. and then your drop will have more impact when that happens, and it'll be all good. So excellent work there. Good stuff. I like it. Good stuff from Elevate. But let's see. There we go. Got some love for Gobsmaker. Is that how it's pronounced? I could be butchering that. I'm sorry if I am, but let's give this a listen. Gobsmacker. Dude, this is tight. I love this. It's like there's just every time it transitions to another bit, there's just like another little layer of something interesting happening. I love that. It just went to like a flute. Like you have some weird almost like it's a Mongolian thing, that Mongolian like throat singing right there, which is really awesome. You have some cool ethnic sounding instruments. It's well mixed. Like the sounds you're actually using in here are awesome. There's a lot of weird sounds that are like unconventional. You know what I'm saying? It's not a normal track by any stretch of the imagination, but it doesn't sound off. Like it's generally it's well put together.
Insanity.
Like maybe that FM main synth could have like a switch up where you change it slightly and add like a little bit of variation, but I get that's sort of like nitpicking. Like for a track like this, I think this is really cool. I really like it. I think that's awesome. You know what? I'm gonna give it a like, because that's something that I would legitimately listen to. I'd be like, I'd vibe to this. That's cool. I like it. Good work. Good stuff. Good stuff. Who else we got in the chat? Better not to listen to mine after hearing this. Oh, okay. Let's see. Well, here's the thing. Now I have to. I can't not. I hate to do you like this, but here we go. Sounds very beautiful. Brought in some strings. That's an interesting instrument. If that sounds like a guitar to me. I think that's a guitar with like some cool processing on it. Like it's running through a cool cabinet. I like it. I like the way it sounds. I think it doesn't mix exactly with the other sounds. Like part of me thinks that it's like a little bit harsh in the mid to high frequencies, or it should be we should have like a little bit of reverb. It should be a little more. Yeah, it's like a guitar, like a sitar thing. Like I don't even know what it is completely. But as far as the progression of like the music that's being played, like the notes that are actually being put down, it all sounds very well produced. It's all put together very nicely. I love the strings. I love the strings. All the stuff that you're doing with the strings in here sounds really good. Just the mixing of that one instrument is probably the one thing that I'm thinking of. Just kind of taking that down a little bit, maybe EQing out some of the harsher frequencies in the mid to high region is what I'm thinking, and that sounds awesome. So cool stuff. Some good contrasting stuff there. And we got some more. Okay, well, here we are. We got some more rhythm. I'm sorry I won't be able to get to everyone, but I will be taking 3 more tracks. This is going to be track number 1. So 2 more tracks after this. And then, let's see, I've been streaming for over 3 hours now. So yeah, this one and then 2 more tracks after this one. You're going to do final 3.
Okay, let's go.
I mean, my main criticism with this, I mean, like, this is a cool track that you have here. My main criticism is that it almost just sounds like two tracks. Like, you have the like the chill reggae intro, and then you have the you know, heavy like rhythm dubstep stuff going right there. And I think the main thing that you need to nail is just the transition, right? Because the dubstep sounds cool, especially the second half. I definitely do prefer the second half of the drop to the first half. But you just got to get the transition between the reggae to the dubstep to come together. And that could be like in the build-up, hinting at some of the dubstep elements. Like, what I do a lot is I take the dubstep basses that are in the drop, and I kind of, I render them out, I cut the sub, and then I use that in the build-up, and I just slowly fade that in, or use a low-pass filter to bring that in. So you like hear that in the background, and your brain is kind of ready for it. Like, it's a little more prepared for it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of hints at what's coming in the drop, and that could help kind of even out that transition, so it doesn't just come out of nowhere. That would be a good thing to do in that scenario. But as far as mixing, I think there's a lot of high frequency content, not necessarily just like cymbals and like on an EQ perspective, but just like a lot of sounds that are taking up the high frequency. Like, you have like a siren sound, and the basses are very high frequency as well. Maybe just like toning down those like a little bit, so it's not quite as harsh. But overall, this is not a bad track. All right, yeah, I'm sorry I'm not able to get to everyone. I can't always remember like who was here the whole time and who wasn't, but I do remember seeing this person. So I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah, give some feedback to this one, and then we'll do one more track after this. I'm not trying to ignore anyone, I promise.
You're like a rhythm, take control of me, yeah, yeah. You're all I want if you could only see, but it's tearing me apart. When I'm away, girl, are you listening? Are you aware you get the best of me, yeah, yeah. I wanna know, cause you're a mystery, and you're tearing me apart.
That sounds pretty cool so far. I like the vibe I get from it. I think one thing is that the piano is very loud. It's very, like, the whole track is very loud and crushed, like, all together, but the piano is very loud. So I'd kind of pull the piano back a little bit, and then probably the whole track just a little bit from the master, so there's a little more dynamics, so we can vibe a little better, that it's not like super crunchy in your face. That's not necessarily this genre. Like, it's meant to be loud, but not at the sacrifice of quality, you know? And the vocals, which are very nice, are kind of getting hidden in the background. Like, they're not placed. It doesn't sound like they're placed there intentionally. It sounds like they're kind of getting drowned out. So I kind of bring down the piano a bit, bring down the rest of the track, and that could kind of give the vocals room to breathe as well. That always happens. Also, listen to how loud the intro is compared to the drop. Like, they're both the same, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're the same volume, and what should happen is the drop should be a little louder than the intro. You should see a little bit different levels in the drop. There's just a little more. very loud. That's pretty much my main criticism with it. Is just that from a mixing perspective, but from a musical perspective, everything seems to be laid out pretty well. The vocals are used pretty nicely. It works out pretty well. So cool stuff. Nice job. All right, and then for the last person, I know there are a lot of people that said they have been here for a while, and I believe you, but there's like 7 people telling me that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not able to get to every person, but I'm just going to see if I can find this person. If I can't find them, then I can move on to someone else, but yeah, it doesn't look like they're here. Jay Daniels. We'll try Jay Daniels. Oh, there's Jay Daniels. All right, we found Jay Daniels. We'll do some more feedback streams. We'll do some more feedback streams later. This isn't gonna be the last. This isn't gonna be the last stream ever. We'll do some later. These will definitely happen. Just, you know, keep your eyes on the emails.
Driving where the wind blows, steaming up the windows in your car.
Okay, Rima, I did search you, but I wasn't able to find your email. Since I did search you, if you let me know what your email is, like I can try and find you on here, then I will do your track after this one, because I did search you. I just couldn't find it. So just let me know what keyword I need to search for to find your track, and then I'll do that after this one, because I did search for it, to be completely fair.
Fruition, tangled up and twisted in your arms.
That's awesome. I actually really like this track. You said it was, I saw you said it in the chat that it was pre-mastered. So, and this is obviously, like, this isn't a full track. This is just about a minute. So, there isn't a full track to critique, but it's an awesome track. Like, it sounds dope. It's generally well mixed, even though, like, I personally might have turned the drums up a little louder, but I have really loud drums. That's just my style. I don't really, that's not a necessary thing you have to do. I think the vocals worked out well. I would probably crank the vocals a little bit too, so we could hear those a little more up front as well, and that would be really good. But everybody seems to be liking this track. It's a good track. Yeah, good use of melody, good use of structure. It was definitely good work there. All right, I didn't see any update about names. Oh, okay. Rima. I didn't see any update about the name to search for Rima, but yeah, it's not coming up. I'm sorry that wasn't showing up, but I mean, hey, that's a hell of a track to end on. This track right here. Awesome. I appreciate all you guys that sent it in. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to everybody. It's like, I know there's a lot of people that were here from the beginning, and then there's a lot of people. I could do this literally. I could go for days, and you guys would still be requesting tracks. You know that, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that could always be happening. And I mean, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's awesome. I really appreciate you guys' support coming in here, sharing tracks, sharing feedback as well with other people is another very important thing. We really appreciate that as well. I like doing these streams. I like going through you guys' tracks. I like listening to the stuff that you guys are producing. I like hearing the things you make, and I'm glad you all came out here to join me to do it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video or live stream. Happy producing.